Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be doing an awesome deck profile of my Ojama deck. Yes, we're going to be doing an Ojama deck profile on top of Dark Magician Girl's Ojama Mamas. So yes, jokes aside there, Ojamas are a really cool archetype slash deck. They've been a meme in Yu-Gi-Oh! I think they're the original meme in Yu-Gi-Oh! For a long period of time. They started coming out in the original series sets. They were expanded upon in the GX series. They were even part of the anime with Chaz. But yes, without further ado, let us get started on this deck profile on top of Dark Magician Girl's Ojama Mamas. So first off, we run 2 Ojama Green, 2 Ojama Yellow, and 2 Ojama Black. You run 2 of each, actually. Which is pretty standard. You don't need to run 3 unless you're kind of trying to focus more on Ojama Delta Hurricane, which we don't really need to run anymore. But if you're trying to go more into that aspect of the deck just because you want to, then yeah, maybe you run more of them. But for the build that we are going for right now, this is really all that you're going to need in the deck. So 2 of each vanilla Ojama. Favorite one? Ojama Green. Because of the anime. Ojama Green was my favorite. But also Ojama Yellow was so creepy and weird. Yes, boss! Next we run 3 Ojama Red. Ojama Red is one that actually came out during the 5Ds era. I have one of the rare versions of it that I got out of a pack ages ago. It was actually a short print rare, I think. But this card was expensive until the reprint happened in the OTS pack a couple years ago, actually. So Ojama is actually, if you've always wanted to build an Ojama deck but haven't because of the price point, Ojamas have gotten a lot cheaper over time, just to let you guys know. So all those random rares and extremely expensive cards like the Fields Ojama Country and stuff like that, they've been reprinted. They're cheaper. You can build a deck on a budget now and not have to spend $4 on a rare, which is great. But 3 Ojama Red. Ojama Red's really awesome because what you can do with it is when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon up to 4 other Ojama monsters from your hand in attack position. So it can lead you off into going into fusion plays. It can help you go off into link plays, exceed plays, etc. So definitely 3 Ojama Red. We run 3 Ojama Pink. Ojama Pink kind of gives this deck a win condition. This card recently came out of the recent set, which is awesome. Where's Ojama Lime? He's next. But 3 Ojama Pink. He looks like an alien to me more than an Ojama. But Ojama Pink's really awesome because this, like I said, it gives this deck a win condition along with its fusion. So things like Ojama King and things like Ojama Knight, which used to be kind of useless because of the field zone center stuff. This gives us the benefit of helping going for a win condition more of what this deck is trying to do is lock your opponent's zones down. So if you can lock your opponent's field zones and zones down, they really can't do anything. So that's what this deck is more predicated on doing nowadays. So yes, definitely 3 Ojama Pink, which is going to help lock your opponent's field zones down a little bit more easily. Next we run 3 double Ojama Blue. Ojama Blue is not as good as it used to be. Pretty much what Ojama Blue does is when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add up to 2 Ojama cards from your deck to your hand. So the benefit of that actually is you can add any Ojama card. The downside of that is battle. It has to be destroyed by battle. That's the downside. So alas, we just run it as a 2 of, not a 3 of anymore, as it has that stipulation. So still a good card in the deck though. Next we run 3 Meow Meow, or aka Rescue Cat, the cutest card ever in Yu-Gi-Oh! Love this card to death. It looks so freaking cute. But 3 Rescue Cat. This is a beast-based deck actually, because if you guys did not know, if you look at other Ojamas, they are beasts, which means they work well with Rescue Cat, even with the eroded version. What does that mean? It helps mean that you can go into link plays more easily, you can help go for your fusions more easily, and on top of that, you can go for exceed plays easily. So overall, this card is an essential card to have in this deck as a 3 of, for the different versatile uses it can help lead out into combo plays. So you go for a Rescue Cat, you bring something out. You can go for a Link maybe, an Exceed maybe, a Link, Exceed, or Fusion sometimes. It's up to you. Just, that's dependent upon what you have on your hand and already on the field. But staple 3 of them, in my opinion, in this deck for sure. Next we run 1 Armed Dragon level 3. We still run some of the Armed Dragon cards in this deck. It's not going to be like it used to be where you're running, Armed Dragon level 3, level 5. You're not running really any of the new Armed Dragon stuff as well. I've seen some people and talked to some people that have actually incorporated some of the newer Armed Dragon stuff into their deck. But alas, I find that that's not necessary. You really just need 1 Armed Dragon level 3 to recycle and keep reusing over and over again with Ojama Match, which we'll talk about here in a second. So next we run 3 Ojama Match. Ojama Match is a staple 3 of in the deck, hands down. Ojama Match pretty much is the 1 card left in the deck that works with the Armed Dragon part of the deck. So if you guys don't know what Ojama Match does and why I'm running it with just the 1 Armed Dragon level 3, let me explain it to you a little bit. So Ojama Match, send 1 Ojama card from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard. Add to your hand 1 Ojama monster with a different name and 1 Armed Dragon monster from your deck and or graveyard. Then immediately after this card resolves, you can normally summon 1 of those monsters during the main phase. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 3 of your banished Ojama monsters, shuffle them into the deck, draw 1 card. So that's the reason we're running 3. It says deck or graveyard. So even if I use the Armed Dragon for something, hey, I can still get it back from the graveyard. Ojama Match is still alive. I have seen people tech in Ojama, Armed Dragon level 5. I've seen people tech in Armed Dragon level 7 just because, but that depends upon you and how consistency you want your deck. For I feel that you really don't need the newer Armed Dragon in this deck because they're great, but they're not essential for what you're trying to do. You really need an Armed Dragon type of just 1 Armed Dragon level 3, and I chose level 3 because it's nostalgic and it pretty much is a level 3, which in some instances it's a little bit more recyclable, but you can run any of the, and it's normal summonable as well compared to just running Armed Dragon level 5, etc. But you just need 1 Armed Dragon and it's going to work with your Ojama Match, and you can recycle it because it can come from grave or deck. Next we run 3 Ojama Magic. Ojama Magic helps add your different vanilla Ojamas from your deck to your hand. I have 3 of the rare versions, which is awesome. But yes, when this card is sent from your hand or field to the graveyard, you get to add 1 Ojama green, yellow, and black from your deck, which is awesome, which means you can set up for the big fusion play, which is Ojama King, which is great. So this pretty much can really help set up Ojama King right away, and it's very easy to discard it as well with the different cards we have in the deck. Next we run 3 Ojama Country. Konami, you hollowed out Ojama Country. Thank you. 3 Ojama Country is really awesome. It's a staple of the deck for a long time to help, going through your different Ojama cards in the deck. So staple 3 on the deck. I'm not going to go into it. I'm just happy they hollowed this bad boy out. I'm just waiting for Ojama Lime over here to come out soon. We also run 1 of the Field Zone, which is 1 Fusion Recycle Plant. This is good to help go for your big fusion plays and your fusions in general, as well as 1 Terraforming. While you're mainly going to rely upon your Ojama Country, in a lot of instances, if you're trying to get to a fusion play or something of that nature, it's great to have 1 Fusion Recycling Plant in your deck, because this deck, for its win conditions, quote-unquote, does need to use a Polymerization. And while I didn't feel like I wanted to run Polymerization as a 3 of, even though it's essential, I wanted at least 1 Fusion Recycling Plant and the 1 Terraforming so I can search it out. So this can help search out, your Ojama Country or your Fusion Recycling Plant. It just all depends upon your hand and what state of the game is at currently when you're dueling. We also run 2 Polymerization, 2 General Polymerization. Is it General Polymerization? Yeah. Greater Polymerization and 1 Ultra Polymerization. So that's what we're running there, which is kind of essential for the deck, I feel like, overall, to run in this deck. Greater Ultra Polymerization is really awesome for the different type of plays you're trying to do with the deck. Greater Polymerization that recently came out is a really good card, and I think it's very underrated for how good this card is. Even in this deck and just overall, I think over time this card will go up in price to some degree because it is a pretty decent card across the board, I feel like. And then 2 regular OG Polymerization. Now, it is debatable if you want to run, you know, a different ratio of Polymerization cards in your deck. Some people like 3 Polymerization with this deck. Some people like 2. Some people don't run this. Some people run this. It's up to you to decide overall. I know some people run Verte Anaconda in this deck. I found that it was nice to have, but it wasn't essential. I had Fusion Recycling Plant, and this deck is not predicated on strictly going for fusions. So for that reason, I decided to just run this ratio of the fusion cards, but you can play around with what fusions you want to run. We do run one other fusion card, which is 1 instant fusion. This is because this can work in combination with your Ojama Knight, which is nice to have, as Ojama Knight is a level 5. So this can help out with link plays and just with Ojama Knight's ability as well, but mainly for link plays. Next, we run 3 Ground Collapse. Ground Collapse is a card I never would run in a deck. Remember when Links came out and people thought this card was going to be the next thing, the best thing in Yu-Gi-Oh? That wasn't the case. However, in this base deck and the new rule changes, Ground Collapse is great. If it wasn't for Ojamas, I wouldn't run this card, but for the playing style of this deck, how it plays, what it does, Ground Collapse is great. So I like 3 Ground Collapse in this deck. You want Ground Collapse in this deck as a 3 of. I tried it as a 1 or 2 of, and then I started playing around with it more and doing more testing, and I was like, yeah, I want this as a 3 of now in my deck. So 3 Ground Collapse. It's going to help get you your win condition of locking your opponent's zones out. That's the one thing about this deck. It's very unique in its different ways it plays. 1 Upstart Goblin. I want a little bit of draw power in this deck. Not a lot, just a little bit, to make it a 39 card deck, get to my combo pieces, my win condition cards, etc. So 1 Upstart Goblin in the deck, give me a little bit of deck thinning. And lastly, I won 1 Ojama Pajama, my favorite card by far, but it's actually just a good one I have to have in the deck for its versatile uses. It's not as essential as it was when this card initially came out, but it's still a good one of, even with the new support. So 1 Ojama Pajama. Onto your extra deck, guys. We are running 2 Ojama Kings. Ojama King. Yes, got the rare one over here too. But yeah, 3 Ojamas, hands down, one of my favorite cards by far in the deck. But 2 Ojama Kings because he looks super derpy. I don't have an ultimate rare. If somebody wants to donate me an ultimate Ojama King, I'd be very grateful. Next, we run 2 Ojama Knight. He looks so badass until you figure out his attack is weak. But 2 Ojama Knight. These are going to help lock things out. Like I said, with Ojama Knight, you can use it with instant fusion. Onto your Exceed monsters we run in the deck. 1 Sky Cavalry Centurion. 1 64 Ronin Raccoon Sindayu. 1 Downer Magician. And 1 Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. You will go for AA Zeus. I'm just saying, guys, in this deck. And you will win games because your opponent doesn't think you're going to throw out an AA Zeus. Because this helps out this and just makes the world much better. And just these cards are so easily to go help you go into these 2. It's amazing. So definitely run the 1 AA Zeus, Downer Magician in this package right here. It's amazing. Next we run 1 Ojama Emperor. He looks smug up on his Ojama throne with all of his Ojamaness. All hail his Ojamaness. Ojama Emperor. Next we run 1 IP Masquerena because Ojamas and IP Masquerena go together. That was a bad pun, a bad joke. But yes, this is going to help you link up. It's very easy to go for. 1 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus. You can run Cerberus Phoenix, whichever ratio you want to run, but this is just going to help you with your back row and your monster removal stuff. We also run 1 Nightmare Unicorn, easy to go into with your IP Masquerena. Your special summoning of your Sayuja Skull Dread, you're going to be using Sayuja to bring out some special summon from your hand most of the time, so that's why it's so good. That's the main effect you're going to use. And then 1 Axis Kotaker. Do not underestimate how powerful these cards are in this deck. There is 1 card I would mention that I was thinking about running, but I'm still playing around with it. It's something that I found from playtesting I was going for fairly often, but it's something that I need to do more playtesting with. And that is Blackluster Soldier of Chaos. If there is any card here you do not have, maybe in your link package that you're like, hey, maybe I want to cut this out for something else, try Blackluster Soldier of Chaos. Because what you'll find is, there's a good amount of times you're going to have 3 different monsters with 3 different names on the field sometimes, and you will easily go for this. So this is the card that I would say is the 16th card that I didn't put in the deck because it just wasn't making the cut by a bit. So that's something I just wanted to mention to you guys if you're wondering about that. But hopefully you guys all enjoy this deck profile. Go the Chaz! And let's Ojama it up. Ojama it up. Instead of saying Chaz it up. But I hope you guys enjoy this deck profile. This deck is so fun to play. Like, it's such a meme-based deck. And the fact now that it's fairly consistent, I'm looking at that it actually has a win strategy now, more or less, is really cool. So I hope you guys all enjoy this video. Till next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling to all of you guys, and go Ojamas! Who is your favorite Ojama? Let me know down in the comments down below. Take care, guys, and good luck dueling to all of you.